2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Standout 7.
In the next 7 minutes or so, we look back on a week where Will Smith's slap echoed around the world, Ukraine made progress as Russia retreated, the Queen paid tribute to Prince Philip, and the world said goodbye to Taylor Hawkins and Tom Parker. This is the Standout 7 from the Smart 7. Don't forget to hit the follow button to get your daily updates at 7am. The tide appeared to turn in the Russian war on Ukraine this week as face-to-face peace talks took place in Turkey. Russia said it would reduce its attacks on key cities, but that was greeted with scepticism from all sides. Russian forces did, however, begin to withdraw from around Kyiv, the Chernobyl region and the hotly contested Hostomel airport. It's believed that the Russians are intending to regroup for a renewed assault in the Donbass region. President Zelensky spent another week on Zoom, including an address to the Australian Parliament.
Our dream is undefeatable and undestructed, especially if we can count on the support of the free world.
Vladimir Putin found himself under increasing pressure as an attempt to force EU countries to pay for gas in rubles didn't go down well.
If such payments are not made, we will consider this as their failure to carry out their commitments by buyers with all the consequences. We don't get anything free of charge, and we're not going to engage in charity either.
He set a midnight deadline, but it was unanimously rejected by the European nations, with Germany describing the proposal as blackmail, while Chancellor Olaf Scholz said they'd continue to pay in euro as per their contract. The UK's Chief of Defence Staff Admiral Sir Tony Radakin also weighed in on Russia's war, saying in many ways Putin's already lost.
Putin has damaged himself through a series of catastrophic misjudgments. He has failed to recognise how deeply the notions of sovereignty, democracy and national identity have taken root in Ukraine. He has failed to anticipate the unity and cohesion that exists among the free nations of the world.
Joe Biden announced that the US oil reserves would release 1 million barrels a day to help drive prices down, and he too was critical of Putin.
He seems to be self-isolated, and there's some indication that he has fired or put under house arrest some of his advisors. I don't want to put too much stock in that at this time because we don't have that much hard evidence.
The 2022 Oscars had a number of firsts. Ariana DeBose became the first openly queer woman of colour and only the second Latino actor to win an acting Oscar, while Troy Kotsur became the first deaf male winner of an acting Oscar. Jane Campion became only the third female winner of Best Director, and Coda became the first streaming movie to win Best Picture. All of that, however, was overshadowed when Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, who suffers from alopecia.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Wow, dude.
There was absolute chaos as the US froze the TV picture. Will Smith was comforted by Denzel Washington during the ad break, and then he went on to win Best Actor for King Richard.
Richard Williams was a fierce defender of his family. I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees. Art imitates life. I look like the crazy father, just like they said.
The Met Police investigation into the Tory party parties at Downing Street during lockdown is finally wrapping up, with the first of 20 fines due to be issued, but they won't say to who or to which event they relate to. Downing Street wouldn't comment other than to say Boris has not been issued with a fine at this time, but that it would announce if he is at some point. Lib Dem leader Sir Ed Davies says the fines make it clear that there were rules broken.
The buck should stop with the Prime Minister, with what happens in number 10. It's quite wrong for him to hire expensive lawyers and try and hide behind them and throw junior staff to the wolves.
Labour's Deputy Leader Angela Rayner says for her it's pretty straightforward.
If the Prime Minister's fined because he's broken his own rules, then I think his position is untenable. I don't think he can go to the British public and say, I'm acting in your interest, when he's been laughing, joking, having parties and then tried to lie about that.
But former Health Secretary and now backbencher Matt CCTV Hancock says it's not the right time for the PM to resign.
He has apologised and he's acknowledged that there were problems and made changes in Downing Street. But I think we need to look at this within the context of what's going on in the world.
Tuesday saw Her Majesty the Queen and members of the royal family attend a Thanksgiving service for His Royal Highness Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh. He was the longest-serving Prince Consort for a British monarch and the Queen's beloved husband for over 7 decades. Prince Harry didn't attend, but Prince Andrew made a rare public appearance as he arrived with the Queen to Westminster Abbey, where the Dean of Windsor, David Connor, spoke about his longtime friend.
Perhaps our greatest tribute to him, most especially in these far too troubled times, will be for us to accept the challenge implicit in his life to rekindle in our hearts something of that call for the inspiration and the guidance to play our part in working for a kinder future.
Still to come on the Standout 7, some bits you may have missed from the Oscars and tributes to the Wanted's Tom Parker. Right after this. Welcome back.
One man's come to signify Saturday afternoon football more than anyone else. He's Jeff Stelling, and after 30 years at Sky Sports, he was due to step down at the end of the season. But there's been some big news. He's staying on for one more.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
I know. At 67, he had been looking forward to retirement, but says he couldn't blow the final whistle just yet. So with at least one more season of entertaining Saturday afternoon mayhem.
There's been a red card, but for who, Chris Kamara?
I don't know, Jeff, has there? I must have missed that.
Have you not been watching? Oh, my goodness. You ain't seen nothing yet. Hartlepool lead Mansfield by a goal to nil. Blow your whistle, man in black. And there is a scoreline you could not, dared not, would not have believed.
The 2022 Oscars will probably go down in history for Will Smith getting diggy with it, and he's now apologised to Chris Rock, but there were also some genuinely amazing stories from the night that you may have missed. Both winners of the Best Supporting Actor award have remarkable stories that might have gotten lost in the echo of the slap that shook showbiz. Ariana DeBose won Best Supporting Actress for West Side Story, making history as the first openly queer woman of colour and only the second Latina to win an acting Oscar.
You know what, now you see why that Anita says, I want to be in America, because even in this weary world that we live in, dreams do come true.
The independent movie Coda, which got picked up by Apple, won Best Picture, and star Troy Kotzer made history as the first deaf actor to be nominated for and to win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. He paid tribute to his dad in his signed speech.
My dad, he was the best signer in our family, but he was in a car accident and he became paralyzed from the neck down and he no longer was able to sign. Dad, I learned so much from you. I'll always love you. You are my hero.
The sad death was announced on Wednesday of The Wanted's frontman Tom Parker. He'd been battling an aggressive brain tumour for the last 18 months. He was only 33 years of age. The Wanted sold more than 12 million records worldwide and had 10 top 10 singles in the UK, including All Time Low and Glad You Came. Tributes flooded in from many in the music world, including Liam Payne, Spandau Ballet's Martin Kemp and Ed Sheeran. Tom had spoken openly about his terminal diagnosis and had undergone radiotherapy and chemotherapy, but to no avail. He's survived by his wife Kelsey and 2 kids, Aurelia and Bodie. Here he is speaking to Roman Kemp on Capital Radio about what the battle with cancer taught him. Rest in peace, Tom.
I think that's the one thing I've actually learned, is just to appreciate every day that you get given, do you know what I mean? Because none of us are guaranteed tomorrow.
This has been the Standout 7, the best of the week from the Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. with the Sunday 7. Have a great rest of your weekend. Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.